to elaborate on this vision and share with us the path that Sai Aasra is moving on, I request Nikky Madan to come up and address the gathering. Nikky.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. If you can dream it and your heart can believe it, you can achieve it. That's what I believe in, and that's why I'm here today. And that's why Sai Aasra launches off on its humble mission to provide a home, a rehab center, and a vocational training center for persons with spinal cord injury. Ladies and gentlemen, before I start, I would like to say that on this journey for the last couple of years since this idea originated in the mind, everybody has asked various questions. And today I stand before you to answer some of these questions. The first is, how this idea? And I would like to tell you that this idea was not really mine. It was a friend of mine, a very dear friend, who was a quadriplegic by the name of Manmeet Singh. And this is his picture. He today is in a picture, but was a very dear friend of mine. And he lived for many years of his life with this trauma of what happens if something happens to one's elders or near and dear ones and they're left helpless. He was a young boy of 14 when he met with a swimming accident and his spinal cord broke from the neck and he became a quadriplegic for life. After a long struggle and a long journey where he struggled with it, what happened was that his mother fell very seriously ill. She was already suffering from rheumatoid arthritis, but she fell very ill. And I, as his friend, saw the constant trauma that he was facing, that tomorrow if something happened to his mother, then what happens to him? And I saw that agony in him. And I followed that journey. And unfortunately, just a couple of months ago, he left us for his heavenly abode because of the complications that came up with quadriplegia. So first and foremost, before we take off, I would request everybody to just join me in a 1-minute silence for the person who was the visionary of this project. He was the founder, he was the visionary, and this is basically his dream, which we seek to make it come true. So just a 1-minute silence for his soul, please. I'd like to tell you firstly to explain to those who are not affected by spinal cord injury that this is declared by the WHO that this is the most devastating disability. When the spinal cord breaks, it renders you really incapable of doing many things. It depends from the point where the spinal cord breaks. Below that becomes virtually paralyzed. And one loses control over their stomach muscles, which means bowel and bladder dysfunctioning, and a whole lot of associated complications that come up with this. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, today, even when we have to take on staff for our homes, domestic help, we have so much of difficulty. For these people who are so dependent on care, on attendance, what do you think life would be like? And what do you think life is going to be like in the future days? When it is so difficult for us today, how difficult do you think it's going to be tomorrow for them to get help? And when they do get help, the attendants bully them. And they really bully them because they know that these are people who are dependent on them. And life is a struggle. We can teach our paraplegics many rehabilitative skills. We can teach them many vocational skills. We can teach our quadriplegics many things. But when it comes to going back home and living a day-to-day life, they need help. I would like people in this audience to look around at those who are present here on the wheelchair. And you will find that most of those on the wheelchair are men. And they look good too. But they're there because someone somewhere cared for them and cares for them and takes care of their little needs, be it a wife, be it a mother, be it somebody supportive in the family, which generally is a lady. And let me tell you what happens to the ladies. The first thing happens after a spinal cord injury is the husband deserts her, if she's married. If she's not married, chances are most inevitably she will not get married. But if she is married, very often the husband deserts her. Can you understand the trauma that is faced by this kind of a patient? It is unfathomable, because first of all you are left with a complete dysfunctional arms and legs. You don't know what to do with life. You become a vegetable, so to say, where you have to learn to do even the most basic things, like your toilet training. Everything needs to be taught and life needs to start once again. But we want to tell you that we at Sai Aasra are wanting to make a center which is a home, a rehab center, and very intense vocational training, so that these people can go back to society empowered after becoming disempowered. We want to give them the hope and the love that they deserve. We want to make it a place where anybody who has a spinal cord injury and doesn't know how to move on from there can come, and we can be of some use to them. Ladies and gentlemen, if for one moment we could visualize our arms and legs not working, if we could visualize ourselves rendered completely useless, where we need somebody to do our basic things, where we can't tie our shoelaces, we can't tie our hair, we are so incapacitated, we would be miserable. And then we want you to know that Sai Aasra wants to come in there. We want to step in there, help them to do every basic thing once again, to make a new beginning, a new dawn. And it is a very ambitious project. Again, I'm faced with a question, how? It's too big. That's all right. We have to take one step at a time. We're aiming big, but we will start small. With your cooperation, with your help, we will take one step at a time. And eventually, this dream will become a reality. Today, India is one of the fewest countries in the world which does not have a home or a rehab, a home for people with spinal cord injury. The army knows how to take care of their men. They really know it. They have built 2 beautiful homes in Pune and Mohali. And when you see their inmates, some of them are even here with us, see the looks on their faces. I have been to Pune. I have met their Jawans in Kirki. I have met them. The spirit is amazing. But when you look at our own society people, it's so pathetic, because the army took care of them. Can our society not take care of its own? Can we not take this opportunity to do something for our people? We need to. Somewhere we need to get out of our state of apathy. We need to move forward. I am standing on this platform telling you that I feel motivated that this has to be done. And because I believe it, and my heart also believes it, I'm sure we can achieve it. So for starters, we took this step. This is the first step. We're right here in front of you announcing that this is what we want to do, and do it we shall. And the second thing that we've done is when I started it, I was alone with Manmeet. But today, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, we have a wonderful team of trustees. I am so proud to introduce our trustees to you. We have a Mrs. Komal Anand, a lady whom we can proudly say is one of the faces of our board. A lady of immense integrity, immense repute. I mean, she's awesome. And she's also the head of Junior School YPS. And anybody who knows her knows that this is a woman of substance. And she has joined us on the Board of Trustees. Then we have Mr. M.S. Mann, again very reputed, again a very wonderful soul. And we are proud to have him with us. We have Mr. Jagmohan Gujrat, a management consultant. And every time I look to see how am I going to take this forward, we need so much structuring of this project. Then I look towards him because I know that he has the skill and can make it happen. We have a Mr. V.S. Saluja with us, who is all the way from Ranchi, but a dedicated social worker. And his family in Ranchi is doing awesome work with surgery for all people with polio and joint limbs and everything. And they take care of them, operate them, give them medical aid right up till the time that they go home, they're taken care of, and those people can walk again. We also have on our Board of Trustees Mr. Daljit Singh, whom we are very proud to say is the President of Fortis and has come to us as on the Board of Trustees. Amazing a person, amazing are his feats. He has even set up Fortis of Mohali, and a tremendous person. We are really proud and honored to have him. And we also have our very dear Mr. Suri, who has come from Fagwara. He's the Director of Operations Kabana and has done tremendous work with the old people's home, which is there in Gohana. He has virtually set that whole institute up. So a very capable team we have. And I have my little daughter Samia also as a member of our trustees. And she is the one who has always helped me with every little thing that I need to do. So thank you to all of you for joining in this. And when you see their faces, I'm sure you know that we can make this dream come true. And also, before I sign off, I want to tell you that whatever we are today is a very small group of people. But when this group of people really gets together, I know that we can make it happen. And we have an amazing patron in the form of Mrs. Navjot Kaur Sidhu with us. She, ladies and gentlemen, doesn't need any introduction when it comes to her political career, when it comes to all the tremendous feats she has achieved politically. But let me tell you, on the personal front, this is an amazing lady. She is a lady with her values. She's in the political arena, but she stands very tall by way of her being. She is a wonderful lady, and every time I feel disheartened and I feel, can we really take this forward? She gives me a hug. And I know that with her there, we have all that we need. So a very humble thank you to you, and please be with us and help us as we move on.